I believe in myself.
Yeah, I believe in myself. Yeah, I believe in myself too.
Well, I do believe in myself, definitely.
I believe in myself.
I believe in myself.
I believe in myself, and I know I'm special.
I do believe in myself.
There's no one like me.
I think I'm pretty unique, yeah.
I mean, come on, I'm beautiful. I mean, I'm my own person.
I think that I'm the only one that's like me. I'm like, just like a unique person.
There's no one ever gonna be like me.
Yeah, I sort of feel like there's no one else like me.
I'd say I'm special.
I guess I'm kind of special, you know.
I do think everybody's unique in their own way.
If you think you're unique and you think you're original than anybody else, then you know you don't have to follow in anybody's footsteps. You can choose your own path.
If you don't believe in yourself and you have a problem, you're gonna like be down or whatever about it. Like you're not gonna really want to face it.
When you believe in yourself, you're able to deal with stuff around the world like grief and stuff better. And you're probably more confident, more able to socialize, probably have more friends.
It gives you confidence.
It affects me looking at life in a different way because I just think everything's gonna go my way, which it does.
Hey, Kristen, go long.
Hey, Dylan, this isn't a football field, it's a studio.
I know that.
Then what's with this?
I play football, duh.
You play football? Are you on varsity?
Like, yeah. But I'll admit, there was times when I really doubted myself.
Really?
Yeah, at the beginning I didn't know if I was varsity material. But with a little hard work and perseverance, I was able to work myself up to a starting spot.
Good job, Dylan. I'm not surprised. I mean, I always believed in you.
I think we all have those times in our life when we hit a bump in the road and lose faith in our abilities. But as Christians, it's important to always believe in yourself.
I agree. Some may think believing in yourself is just being conceited, but it's really trusting in God and His plan for your life.
Believing in yourself. That's what we'll be talking about today. Hi, everyone. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is RealFaithTV. The teens on the street all expressed to us that they believed in themselves.
We'll talk to them a little later in the show, as well as meet our spotlight guest, Katie.
But first, let's see what our studio guests have to say about the topic.
All right, they are Danielle, Phil, Lauren, Vince, Michael, and Allison.
So, you guys ever find it hard to believe in yourself?
I do a lot, especially because I really did have a lot of self-esteem issues when I was like really younger because I didn't have a lot of friends. But now I find it really easy to believe in myself.
Yeah, with me in my house, I have to deal with my younger siblings putting me down. So usually when I'm doing something, they'll say like, oh, you don't know how to do this, or you do it bad. And after a while, I realized they're just trying to get me angry. So I tune them out and I realize that I'm not that bad at what I'm doing.
I was assistant director for my school show last year, and it was really difficult to believe in myself when all of my castmates were disrespectful and disruptive. It was a matter of you have to get the show done, so either block it out or just, you know you can do it, so get it done.
That reminds me of a time when my drama teacher had put me in charge of a bunch of the middle schoolers, of helping them to learn how to do some stage crew things. And I had to help them, like, teach them how to do some brickwork for one of the sets. And they didn't want to do it, they didn't want to try, and that brought me down, and I really didn't know how to handle it, and it made me uncomfortable, and I had already been working with issues of self-esteem, and it was just tough.
I would say I'm a fairly confident person. However, 2 years ago, I would hang out with this group of girls, and they weren't as secure with themselves as I am, so they would say like mean things about me behind my back to try to bring me down. However, I knew like they were insecure with themselves, so I wouldn't let it get to me.
I believe in myself. It's like if I'm doing something new, I'll just go in with the right mindset and hope for the best.
Let's meet our spotlight guest, Katie. She'll share with us why she believes in herself.
And how she embraces the individuality she's been given as a creation of God.
I believe in myself because, like, I know I can do anything. Like, anything I try to, I know I can do it as long as I keep trying. Believing in myself lets problems not be such big things. Small things that people say, you know, just roll off my back. It's not a big deal. Or, like, big problems, I try to really focus on just, you know, calming down, because I know it'll work out. Everything always does, you know, one way or another. Everybody's got the same, you know, like the beauty thing. You know, everyone's got to be beautiful. That's not true. Everyone is beautiful. You don't have to be like a certain beautiful. You don't have to be skinny or, you know, you don't have to have long hair or whatever. The things like the world tries to make you feel like is right about, you know, like how you look and stuff, it's not all true because nobody's perfect. But, you know, like I'm happy with how I am and how I look and everything. There are some people out there that are very judgmental of how you look, but that might be because they have their own insecurities that they have a hard time getting over. I love thinking about how we're made in the image of God, and I think that's so cool because if you think about who God is, and then He made us like Him, then I'm kind of like a little piece of God, and so are you. And it just helps me like believe more that everyone is so special, and that's what helps me like believe in myself, that He made everyone an individual, and every individual person has like special things about them, and you know, their good and bads and everything, and that's just so interesting. It makes me want to be me, you know?
Yeah, like what she was saying is so true. You know, we're all made in the image of God, so we got to remember that. Our gifts and talents can bring out the best in us and reveal our unique abilities to the world.
But they can also leave us open to criticism and even rejection.
Everyone, it seems, goes through a period of rejection at some time or another. High school society spares no one.
Cliques and friend circles make up the boundaries of who's cool and in and who's out.
Trying to get in with the right crowd can be difficult and stressful.
Especially for people who did not find a group in high school. These years can be very lonely.
Next, Katie talks to us about how she struggled to fit in and dealt with periods of loneliness.
And how through prayer, she learned not only to accept herself, but to be proud of who she was.
Before I felt the way I do now, really lonely, you know? Like, you're by yourself, and you know, I always thought I wasn't good enough for people that I liked, so I wouldn't like reach out to them, and I didn't make a lot of friends. I just didn't feel happy with who I was. I wasn't myself. I tried to be who I thought they would like. I would like do things my friends like to do just because, you know, that made them happy, so I thought that would make me happy. And it didn't. It started happening when I saw where I was going. My friends that I was hanging out with then, I saw where they were going, and I didn't want to be like that. They didn't believe in God, and I was like, what am I doing? I can't follow these people, and I just wanted to embrace what was about me. It's just like an awful feeling to feel, and I don't want anyone to ever feel that way, you know? Because like, you can do anything. I know a lot of people like today you have to be a certain way. No. You got to be yourself. You know what I mean? Like I just want to tell everybody that's okay to be yourself, and I don't want them to feel like they're never good enough, because you're always going to be good enough. So I just decided, like, I like these things, so I'm just going to go for it. You know, I don't want to dress this way. I want to dress the way I want to dress. So, you know, like, I threw out all my other stuff, and I went out and I bought new clothes, and I felt really good about myself. You know, even if you didn't like my clothes, I don't care. I like my clothes. I really focused on myself. I don't know if that's conceited or whatever, but I really wanted to find out what I liked. I didn't want to listen to music that it was popular. I wanted to see what I liked. So I explore, you know, things that I like. Like the first step would be like that, like focusing on yourself and prayer with that. Like prayer is with like every step for me, because it's just, you know, it's kind of scary to just change all of a sudden, you know, or to like feel like, you know, to change how you feel about some things. And prayer just really helps you, just because you know you're not alone. Even if you feel alone, you're not.
I definitely know what she's saying. I get shut down by girls 24/7. But the fact that I have self-confidence just lets me bounce back every single time, you know? And like a lot of people make fun of me, like the way I dress and like the music I listen to, but I don't really care, because like I am who I am. So have you guys ever felt rejected, and how'd you get over it?
Well, this year I'd really wanted a spot on student council and also a peer leader. However, I didn't get either of them, and I was like really upset by that. It happened that 2 weeks later, I found out that I'm going to be the chief editor for our yearbook. Now, if I had gotten a position on student council, I wouldn't have been able to do both, and I would have rather been on yearbook. So that's what I always try to remember when I go through rejection, is that everything happens for a reason, and it'll turn out okay.
Yeah, I've been rejected a lot in my lifetime. People don't necessarily agree with the music I listen to or the clothes I wear. What I do to deal with it is I just keep self-confidence in myself and know that I'm my own special person and that I like myself.
I know I've been rejected like so many times, and it's actually mostly like in school. Like people just won't like include me like in their groups, like group projects and stuff, and I mean, it hurts a little bit, but, you know, there's other people, and I know there's good people and people that accept me for who I am, so that's what I look to.
Yeah, like you said, like group project and stuff. If people are like doing a project and they're like, okay, we're gonna do this, and it's like, oh, can I be in your group? Oh, no. It's like there's always rejection there, definitely. In Paul's letter to the Corinthians, he writes,
"The one who raised the Lord Jesus will raise us also."
after every rejection, we are given an opportunity to be raised from it and into a new life.
This could be with a new friend, a new activity, or a new place from which you'll see the world differently.
How a person responds to feelings of rejections says so much about him or her.
Trusting God is important, but being emotionally responsible and brave is just as important.
What advice would you give to others to help them believe in themselves?
That's what we ask the teens on the street.
Give me a beat, Dylan. Let's check it out.
What advice do you have for someone to help them to believe in themselves and to never give up hope?
Just never follow the crowd, you know. Just choose your own path and follow what you believe in, and then you'll never be disappointed in yourself.
Don't never say you can never do anything. That's just never being out of your mouth. You can never say never.
Put it in perspective and consider the things that they've been through and that the things that they survived.
Don't worry about what other people think.
Don't go by what people think of you. Just as long as you know you can do anything you want.
Don't give up.
If you don't have that confidence, nobody else will. If you think of yourself being a bad or an evil person, well, that's how it's going to be.
Like, wake up in the morning and say, today's going to be a great day. I love me and I love the world. And that's the way you should go about life.
I say just talk about it with friends, family. It's always good to open yourself up. It's always good to vent. Don't keep things bottled up for too long because, I mean, it'll just get worse and worse. The pressure will just build.
Know that you can do whatever you set your mind to.
I wasn't the best wrestler when I started, you know, and I wanted to give up and quit. But some of the guys from my high school team, they told me to keep going and keep working, and I did, and I eventually started getting better. And now they got me into school and everything, so it's really been a good thing.
So have any of you encouraged someone to believe in their abilities and, had that person do?
I know just recently we had an event at our carnival at my church. There was a special couple hours where special needs children and adults could play like the games and do things for free. And one of the little boys came up to the booth I was at, and he was having a hard time playing the game, but we cheered him on. We told him, you can do it, you can hit it, and he was able to hit it, and he was so excited afterwards, and to give him the prize, he was so excited. So that made me feel good.
When midterms come around, all my friends are nervous because they're all studying and they're all going crazy. And me, I'm the most calm. Like, I study the least, but somehow I get the good grades. And I'll tell them, I'll be like, listen, if you're nervous or worried, you're going to forget everything you learned. So just be calm about it and you'll do fine. And then they'll come out from their test and they'll be like, oh, I did great. And then they'll get their grades and they're like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. I did this. And I was like, see what I tell you? You just had to be calm.
I know I definitely encourage some of my friends to use their abilities and just to go for stuff that they like to do and definitely persevere to go through like tough times and to believe in themselves and to do stuff that they haven't done and to try new experiences.
I go to auditions for shows and stuff a lot, and a lot of my friends, some of them get really nervous, so I'm always going around to each of them like, you're gonna do fine, this is great, just pretend that nobody else is there and just relax. And it's a lot of fun, to see everybody else kind of brighten up and be more happy.
Yeah, not too long ago, I was at youth conference, and my friend didn't want to go up because they were calling if you had vocations, come up. I was like, okay, if I go up for a vocation, will you go for yours? And she was like, sure. And so I did, and she was thankful I did that.
I like to think that I lead my friends in this way, through example. Because in my group, I'm kind of different a little bit, and I find that a lot of my friends sometimes fall into the ruts where everybody does the same thing, and I don't know if they want to or not. It's hard to tell. So by me being my own person and being different from the group, but still fitting in with the group fine, I think it sets an example for them that you can be your own person and have confidence in yourself and what you like to do.
A camp I go to, and in this camp, sometime during the week, there's a ropes course, where you climb up a tree, you walk across ropes like you're on a trapeze wire, and there's different elements at the ropes course. I'm not a fan of heights. I'm not a fan of climbing 30 feet, 70 feet in a tree. So therefore, my objective is to be on the ground, and when you're on the ground and you're with your group, whoever's in that tree, you cheer them on, you encourage them, you tell them, you might not think you can get to that next level, but you can. And you make sure that that's how they feel. They feel encouraged, they feel loved, they feel supported, and they feel safe most of all. And that's exactly what all the people on the ground who aren't in the tree are for the encouragement, to make people think that they can do their best.
Next, let's go back to our spotlight guest, Katie, where she talks about how she'd like to see a world without insecurities.
And how she helped a boy in her youth group to step out of his comfort zone and take a positive risk.
I want you to like yourself. I want you to feel like you matter and you are an important person in this crazy world. I would like to take all of everyone's insecurities and throw them out, because I know insecurities are the hardest thing in the whole world to get over. But when you think about getting over them, then that's really being you, and I just want everyone to be who they are without being scared. When I want to meet you, I don't want to meet who you think I want to meet, you know? I want to meet you. I don't care how weird or crazy or something you are, I want to meet you. In youth group, there's an incoming freshman. He's really cool, actually. I was talking to him at a party. He wasn't at the most recent thing that we did, you know? And I was like, hey, where were you that day? I guess he thinks, like, he trusts me a little bit, because he said, he was like, that's not really in my comfort zone, you know? That's kind of where it's hard for me to break out of my shell, you know? That's where my insecurities hit. And I was like, well, that's the whole point of going, you know? We want you to come and we want you to break down those walls with us. He's definitely opened up. I think he's like, he really likes youth group. I could just tell by how he acts now that he sees that it's okay to be him around us. When the youth group, when we went to New Orleans, we did affirmations and like with our groups and stuff. And one of my friends, she came up to me afterwards and she said, thank you just for saying what you said, because, you know, she started to get really upset and she was like, no one's really ever called me beautiful like that. And I was like, how are you, what? Like, I don't believe you. Like, how could you say that? You're so beautiful in every single way, like physically and inside. And she was like so happy to hear that. And it just made me feel really good because I made her feel good.
Katie talks about comfort zones, and I think that's really important because, like, we all have them, and we all, in the back of our minds, know what they are. And we also know when something scares us a little bit, and it stops us a lot of times, and it makes us hesitate, but we really need to just step over those, like she was saying, like she got her friend in youth group to do. And because if we don't do it now, like, when are we going to do it? Like, this is the time we need to really start breaking out of our shells so that we can be the adults we want to be when we get older. Today's society places great emphasis on making it yourself and going your own way.
We see this on advertisements of everyday products, claiming that they can make us more self-confident and self-reliant.
These messages can be quite destructive if we actually buy into the idea of being self-made.
And we distance ourselves from God when we let pride inhibit our abilities and seek perfection only from within.
When we do this, we set ourselves up for disappointment. In times of difficulty, there will be problems we cannot solve on our own.
For this, Jesus tells us in the Gospel of John, chapter 16,
I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace.
In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I've overcome the world.
Next, we talk with the teens on the street on how relationship with God should go hand in hand with believing in yourself.
Let's check it out.
Just look from within, keep your faith, and you know, just never follow the bad path.
See that God put them there for a reason, and they just gotta live that reason out.
That relationship with God, you're gonna get a good life.
I think having a close relationship with God will help them like appreciate the whole world better, like including themselves.
I'm pretty religious. I go to church a lot, and I think that if someone who's religious or wants to be religious, you know, even if they don't know much about God, that if they go to church or just even read a Bible every once in a while, it would inspire, like, you know, it can inspire them a lot.
Just going to church, and I guess God can give you like confidence and believing in yourself.
He loves me enough to sacrifice so much for me, and he did this, and he's constantly never giving up on me. Oh my gosh, I have to be worth something. I have to be important. You know, I have to do this because God never gave up on me.
Well, if they appreciate themselves and if God, they'll know that they're not by themselves, like somebody else is helping them along.
We have so many flaws because we're designed that way, and so you only can put it in God. And once you do, you're going to have all the confidence in the world because he's all you need.
Yeah, like that girl was saying, it's so cool to think, you know, God did all this for me and he's not giving up on me no matter, you know, where I've been and where I go. He just doesn't give up. I think that's really encouraging to see someone who cares so much about you. So what do you think it means to be God confident, and where is God leading you?
I think it means always having faith that God's watching you no matter what. Because a lot of the times, if I'm feeling bad, like, I'll blame something. But I never can bring myself to say God isn't watching me, because I know he's always there for me, no matter what.
Yeah, like being God confident, instead of putting your trust in yourself and just relying totally on yourself, saying, you know, trusting in God, and then God will give you the strength to, you know, do all that. And I think it's really cool.
I definitely believe that you can't just believe in yourself. You need to believe in God too.
God created us, and he's just like so awesome that if he had anything to do with the fact that we're here, then we have to be awesome, because like he's just like so great and so amazing that if we stem from him in any way, we have to be just great things that he's put on the earth, and we have to have confidence in ourselves because of that.
I know that God is leading me into a bright future. That's what brings me confidence, because I have confidence in him.
For me, it's like I have a calling, which is the priesthood, and I think that is what God is telling me to do. So I'm going to listen to him and follow what he has to say.
Well, for me, I'm like the type of person who's shy or reserved until I get to know somebody. So I often find myself praying to God to be like more open with people right off the bat, and like having more confidence to be more outgoing and stuff.
I do think that hearing God's call, that understanding that God is right there in front of you, pulling you towards your destination, towards your goals in life, I think that knowing that and keeping that in mind will help you achieve your goals.
Finally, Katie talked to us about some of the people who have encouraged her to be her best.
And give some advice for teenagers who are struggling to be themselves.
So my parents are like really supportive in everything that I do. Like even when I was trying to do stuff that wasn't me, they would support me because that's what they thought I wanted. I'm going to be an art major. Most people think that there's not that much you could do with art, and my mom, she comes home all the time with like pamphlets and stuff about what I could do as an art major, and that's just so helpful. And I know she supports me and she loves everything I do. Some advice I would give people that have a hard time believing in themselves would be just like talking is the best thing for me. You know, like I talk to God all the time. I talk to my friends all the time. I talk to my parents. You know, like you just gotta communicate. I always pray for just to get me through things. You know, if I'm having problems, I don't want to just react. I want to, you know, like think about it and stuff. A relationship with God is really helpful to me. You think you're alone, I just pray, and then I don't feel alone. Like those feelings of stress and loneliness just like leave, and it's just, I think the relationship with God really helps you believe in yourself, you know? I pray this prayer every day of my life, maybe, you know, twice a day. God, just protect me. Just that easy to say something that simple and to feel better. Church is probably the biggest support you could have, because obviously everybody has like the same faith here. It's just people that want to help other people, and helping another person makes me feel really good about myself. So if that could be something else you could do, like having a supportive church and youth group and people all around you that are just like, hey, you're cool, let's go help people. That feels really good. It feels good to be around people that understand how I feel about God and stuff. And like, it's just, you know, it's easier to be who you are when there's other people that believe in things that you believe in.
Yeah, like for me, the people who give a lot of support to me is definitely my family, because I have these 3 girl cousins who are younger than me, and they're always looking up to me saying, you know, like, what's Kristen saying? You know, what's Kristen doing? What's she wearing? And just having those 3 girls look up to me so much, I feel like, you know, I have to believe in myself, and I have to have confidence, and it'll give them confidence, and I just have to be a really positive role model.
I think that having a group of people surrounding you, or a group of people, you know, to hang out with that are positive influences, and that people who have self-confidence and God confidence, most importantly, people who know where they're going can help you get where you're going as well.
I think the person who definitely gives me self-confidence is my mom, because she's always stressing for me to be who I am. She's always stressing for me to pray to God like every day and to never say bad things about people, because she doesn't want me giving people insecurities.
My uncle really knows like what to say to make me feel confident about myself. Because if I ever have a problem, I could go to him and just say, like, this is what's going on. And he'll be blunt. He will say, even if it's a little hard to hear, he'll say what he has to say. And then he'll say, like, listen, if this is what you have to do, just do it. And it makes me feel good knowing that he supports me no matter what and will help me achieve a goal, even if it's tough to do.
Yeah, my family gives me confidence because I dress differently from my friends and listen to different music, and they support me totally.
I really think having supportive friends and family and other people you know, I think really that's the key to believing in yourself.
Yeah, it's like my parents support me all the way. It's like when I told them I want to become a priest, it was like, if that's what God wants you to do, then we support you all the way.
In believing in ourselves, we can't have self-confidence unless we have God confidence.
We build this up in ourselves by putting our hope and trust in Him, no matter what life throws at us.
Our God confidence is strengthened in the gifts and talents we use in the light of faith.
Knowing that God gives us these gifts, not to keep only for ourselves out of fear, but to share with one another out of love.
How does God help you to believe in yourself?
We'd love to hear from you. Contact us through our website.
The address is www.RealFaithTV.com.
Or you can call us at 609-406-7402.
And we'll leave you today with one of my personal favorite Bible passages, from Paul's letter to the Philippians in chapter 4.
I have the strength for everything through Him who empowers me.
May St. Paul's message help you on your journey to always believe in yourself.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time on
Real Faith TV. God bless.